Historically, since the women's suffrage movement and white feminism, Black women and women of color have been left out of the movement. Today, this plays out through white feminism and white supremacy. It's a racist ideology that claims to speak for all women, yet it does not take into account women of color's perspectives.
There are many ways in which this form of white supremacy has played out over the years. Some current examples are the white feminists fight for wages, but it's not addressing women of color making less than white women. The Me Too movement was recently hijacked from a Black woman, Tarana Burke, who has been working on this movement for over 10 years, but often people think it's been started the past year from a white celebrity. Black infant and mother mortality rates are a lot higher than white women and infant mortality rates. Police brutality and incarceration rates are much higher for women of color. And there's a big lack of investigation for missing women of color. And children of color are being taken away from their mothers far more often than white women's children. And the way that media portrays women of color versus how they portray white women.
So these are just some large-scale examples of white supremacy that white women encourage and enable all the time. There are also some everyday examples where white women often speak for women of color.
Hey, Oxa.
Oh, hey, Catherine.
Are you going to the Women's March tonight?
No, I'm going to sit that one out.
Wow, do you even care about feminism?
Of course I care about feminism. Why'd you think that I wouldn't?
I think that if you're not going to the march, that means you don't care about feminism.
There's many other reasons, actually, that I'm not going.
Well, I don't think that there are very good reasons.
You don't even know my reasons.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that I have a Black friend, and she's going, so I don't know what your problem is.
Well, you haven't even asked me my reasons of not going, so do you even care to know?
I don't know. I think that, if you really cared, you would just go, you know?
I am not going because I felt not supported at all last year, and I was put in the back when you were taking the front line.
Do you think that maybe if you just didn't act so angry all the time, that you could be in the march and that you wouldn't have to?
Let me tell you why I'm so angry.
I don't know. I just think that you should really come to the march. But anyway, I have a Black Instagram follower, and yeah, she's going, and so I don't know why.
Well, can I tell you why I'm so angry? It's because you won't let me speak.
Let's take a selfie for Instagram, okay?
So that role play was a small example of the numerous things that happen to women of color every day. That is just a very small scale of things that are happening in our society due to white feminism. The things that we didn't even talk about were other populations like transgender women, other women of color, and all the oppression that they have to face because of this movement that has turned into white feminism. Now we will talk about some of the recommendations that we have to solve this issue of white feminism that we have researched and have come directly from women of color that would help them feel more included in the feminist movement.
So we white women have a really huge responsibility here because we have been complacent for a long time in enforcing white supremacy and misogyny. We enable a lot of what goes on here, and we are the cause of this white supremacist feminist movement that has taken over. So we really do, as white women, have a responsibility to check our complacencies and our privilege when it comes to this area, and to really give up space in order to have women of color's voices be heard. We've taken up space for so long in so many ways, and it really is an act of violence. So we really just need to be giving up our space and our privileges, and also holding other white women and men accountable in these areas.
Another recommendation that we found was putting more resources into other movements, such as Womanists, which were created by Black women, and Mujeristas, which was created by Latina women, so that way they can get their movements more known to the world and have the resources that they need.
One article talked about giving women of color a space to create unity and dialogue among themselves without white women present to discuss solutions that they feel would be beneficial for them. That way white women aren't coming up with solutions for them because they know their experience better.
Another one of a really big need is for women of color to be given a platform to speak. We constantly hear about this anger and this aggression that is talked about that women of color have. And this is because they aren't usually given a platform to speak. And the only way that they know to be heard is by being angry. Also, another step that needs to be taken is to provide more leadership roles and creating more pipelines to leadership for women of color so they do have that platform to speak.
Made by white women. We need to add women and not women of color. So bad.
And media representation. I don't know what that one's about.
That you're not going to the Women's March, or do you even care about feminism? I fucking care. Okay.
I'm gonna set that one out.
You don't even care about feminism.
Fuck me. I can't, you guys. Okay, I told you I shouldn't be doing this.
Anyway, you want to take an Instagram selfie?
No. Okay, well, this is the problem, Catherine. Oh my god, we're never gonna get this. Okay, again, take. Are you guys done?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so every day. Nope. Blah, 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 blah. Again. So that was one of. Nope.
Into other movements, such as Womanistas, which, oh my gosh.
Here we go. That was like a hard one.
Womanistas.
Damn it.
Well, that was good.
Also, there blah, 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 blah.